Yeah.
But we did a segment on this before, so just bear with me if you've already seen it. Basically, before dating apps and social media, a college-age woman, or high school, whatever age, is their dating pool is limited. I think college is probably a better idea.
Yeah.
It's probably a better example. Their dating pool is limited to the other college students of the same age and around their peers. But with Tinder, now they can message a 30-year-old guy who lives 5-10 miles away and who has a car. So when this woman swipes right on a 20-year-old college student and a 30-year-old career guy, she thinks they're both attractive, messages both of them. The 30-year-old guy says, I can pick you up in my Honda Civic and we can go to the lake or go see a movie. And the college guy says, you want to hang out my dorm with my dorm mates? Which one's she going to pick?
She's going to pick the guy who isn't in the dorm. Yeah.
So like for me, I'm a couple weeks away from being 34. But I grew up at a time I was coming of age when these social media platforms were being built. So I exploited all of them.
Yes.
I had a very normal teenage and years and 20s and everything, dating, hooking up, partying, all the good stuff. And I skateboarded all the time and I was arrogant, cocky, just awful person, all that. And the ladies loved it. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, they kind of did. And now I'm in my 30s and I can go on dating apps and be like, oh yeah, yep, you got it. And then these other guys who are like 26 have no experience because guys like me have dominated the dating apps for the entire time.
Yep.
So when they're 30, they've never dated before.
And they might, if they've tried a dating app and it didn't work, they're probably not going to want to go back on it when they're 30 to try again.
The dating apps are awful anyway. Like it's
Never
like
tried one.
Well, it's like for women, it's just you just sit there and you get inundated with messages from literally everyone, and then guys go in and message literally everyone.
Yep.
It's become awful. So I've basically walked away from it, just like ugh, it's trash. But I do think it's crazy that I'm about to be 34 and I have no family because my dad had 2 kids by the time he was 27.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, you know what the problem is though? It's definitely not me. I think it's everybody else.
Yeah.
So you're saying
I thought he was being satirical when he said it too, because it was like a pause, and I thought this was going to be a punchline. It's because he just spent the last hour lecturing everybody about the fact that dating is so tough for ordinary people because they don't make enough money. Women are pretty much drawn to men who make a lot of money.
Temples make money.
He's like multi-millionaire.
Okay, I'm not
He's into
crazy.
hypergamy. He's talking about how women are hypergamous, all this other stuff. But at the same time,
You're 34 and still not.
you can't. Everyone else is the problem.
Like, he's the cheat code.
I couldn't believe when he said that sentence. Problem's not me. Definitely not me. Anyone who says that sentence, man or woman, run for the hills. Okay. When they say the problem is everyone else, that's because the way that they operate their life is my way or the highway, and they're probably not reasonable. If you could honestly look at all your dating experience and say the problem has always been everyone else and never you, you're 1,000% a part of the problem. Everyone plays a role in some relationships failing. There's just no way you get to that point in life and you're never involved in any of the failures. Either in the selection of the people you choose, the kind of women you go after, the kind of behavior you exhibit in the relationship. You have to lack self-awareness to say, I've never been a problem.
Other people. It's not you.
How's
To
that?
him. No, I'm sorry.
You're right.
No, it's
You're right.
no.
You're right.
No, not this time. Usually the common denominator is you.
The common denominator is infinity.
Yeah.
It's all the numbers.
Yes. Not you. Not the one.
That's crazy.
In all the relationship, who was wrong? Them. They're the common denominator.
Bro, these guys sell you doom and gloom, say the world is for the rich. They are filthy rich and they still can't make it work. And you would think that, like, yo, you look at guys like Myra and you look at all these fresh and fit, you look at Red Pill, the high value men types. None of them have traditional families. Even though they yap on about it and conservative values, they're all sleeping around left, right, and center. They fucking left, right, and center. They having kids out of wedlock. They all do this shit. And then they want to lecture you about doom and gloom and just get you to pay for their subscription services. It's actually the craziest amount of pimping. These dudes pimp out lonely men. They're telling you, get rich, be successful, this is the way. They are all those things, and they don't make it work.
No, they pimp out lonely simps.
Crazy.
Pimping simps.
Oh, yeah, and these dudes are simping for these guys. They'll get in the comment sections, they'll harass you, they'll threaten you because you went after their hero. I'm like, bro, that's more pathetic than simping for an OnlyFans model. You simping for a dude who's literally stealing your money and making you more lonely. That's crazy. But, yeah, moving past that.
So, like, when it comes to the women that I've been in relationships with, so one relationship I was in was a woman had a career. And so we never saw each other. And she's like, I'm not giving up my career. I'm like, well, I'm certainly not.
Yeah.
You're not giving them a career. I'm not.
Doesn't compromise, chooses somebody who has a lifestyle who's incompatible with his. Everyone else is the problem, not Tim Pool. Dude works 18 hours a day, chooses someone else who works 10 hours a day. Everyone else is the problem, not how he chooses.
Shoulders
How does
again.
that make sense?
Do the shoulders again.
How does that make sense? You guys would laugh at anyone if they told you this as an employer. They're saying, I'm trying to hire a full-time employee. They hire a part-timer who works weekends only.
As students.
You look stupid. That's on you. That's not the employee's fault. How is that their fault?
Well, the employees are trash. Because if you really like the company, you should be devoted for it.
Yeah, and it's like you start dating someone's like, all right, well, I have a job. I make more money than you. You should give up your job and you stay more time and spend more time with me.
Just say that
but hold up. Just because you make more money at your job doesn't mean the other person wants to stop working. Doesn't mean that they don't want to be fulfilled in that way. And if they want that, there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you make more, you're not entitled to tell them to quit their job. They don't have to give up their lifestyle. They're not the problem. You guys have chosen the wrong people. Both of you guys are the problem in this situation.
I'm going to tell you this.
Crazy.
If you say it's my way or the highway, or you have a my way or the highway attitude, just say that you're not available to date. You're not available. Because being available to date actually requires you to be, what's that word? Available. And you're not. You don't want to budge. You don't want to move. If everybody's the problem. Like, listen, my guy, you're a cheat code. You're rich. You're not half bad looking. Lightning.
You ain't see what's under that beanie. And you can't wear that beanie when you have sex. Because if you do, that's crazy.
You don't.
I honestly think wearing a beanie in sex is worse, like 1,000 times worse than balding.
I think that he has to wear the beanie during sex.
No, he does not.
He has.
No.
He's not the problem, sir.
What if this motherfucker got an afro?
Yeah, but
and he's like 1/10 black. And he's just been hiding his Negro-ness.
And then some other women are like, I want to go adventure and do my thing. And I'm like, I'm all about freedom and liberty, so you do your thing, I guess. And the only option I really have is to be like, no, you must be the wife. And like, that's not me.
Yep, exactly.
So I haven't found.
So you got to find somebody who wants to, start a family and be maybe a stay-at-home mother.
But here's the challenge with that. My perspective, personality, what I find attractive, are all based on liberal urban sensibilities.
Yep.
And so most of the women in that space are going to be fiercely independent careerists and not necessarily compatible.
Oh my God, you can't make this shit up.
My guy, what the ladies realize at 30, you're going to realize at 40.
Man, everybody want to build a bear bitch. A build a bear bitch, RPG maker character. I would like someone who's got 10 points into trad con, but also 8 points into artistic endeavors. Doesn't want to work. My guy.
So, over the past several years, I've been, increasingly successful. I have no problem and no concerns about starting a family whenever I need to. But most of the women that, I have been with are like, can't career.
Yep.
And so there have been some who are like nearly 40. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's getting up there a little bit.
That's no offense. I'm just saying, like,
40-year-old women are lovely. Okay.
No, the issue isn't them being 40. It's the difference in my age to their age and where I am in my life. And the same is true with younger women too. So I could certainly find like a younger woman who's like, I just want to, and I'm like, but we're just
and
not.
There's biology that comes into play too there. If you're looking to start a family and she's already in her 40s, then there could be some trouble and that could be hard and that might not fit your what you want in your life.
Yep.
So now he has a problem with women who are younger than him, but you decide to prioritize your work and your profession and put dating by the wayside and just put all your time into that. And then you get to 34, come to realize like you really want this whole family situation. You're having regrets because you saw your dad, but this is just a result of your choices. Don't blame this on feminism. Don't blame this on the... If feminism didn't come about, the very liberal values that you love so much in these women wouldn't even exist. If everyone just remained stay-at-home wives, all that shit that you yapping about that you're looking for in a woman wouldn't even exist in anybody. I don't know. To me, I'll never understand it. This makes me think of the people who want to travel for 10 years and just be a fucking nomad and then come to find out they have no community to really come back to, no roots that they've planted anywhere, or they haven't built a family and they're in their mid-30s and they haven't launched up their career and they're like, oh, it's a result of your actions. You're dealing with the consequences. Take accountability. But instead of doing that, you blaming everybody else. That's crazy.
The result of everybody else.
Crazy. You know what I mean? Like you a player your whole life, come to your mid-30s, you got zero relationship skills. Then you want to blame women for not knowing how to act when it's actually you don't know how to compromise, you don't know how to deal with nothing. Stop blaming everybody else. Crazy. And I hate about this, it's always the dudes who be yapping about accountability. Oh, you reap what you sow. This is the result of your actions. And then they sit here blaming the field instead of themselves. I think like most things in life, things are never as bad as people make it seem, but they're not as great either, right? They're normally somewhere in the middle, right? You go online, people will have you doomed out like crazy, thinking the world's about to end. And you go to real life, and people are really just not concerned about a lot of this shit because it's just not in their purview, and they're not privy to a lot of it. There is some truth to the stuff of hypergamy, but it's never as bad as people make it seem to be. There is some truth to the fact that women do like men who make more money, but if you look at the numbers too, women date a lot of men who are around their income level or sometimes a little bit less, and that's becoming a more and more common trend. All right? This whole idea that it's only for the rich, I see so many poor and middle-class people who are constantly getting married and making it work. This idea that you're never going to make it work unless you make 6 figures is just nonsense, okay? This idea that you have to be a Chad is also nonsense. I see so many ugly guys who get it on with girls. Hell, I look decent now, but when I was in my mid-20s to early 20s, like, I look like a wretch who, listen, I look like something. And I was still making it work. I knew a lot of dudes who were even uglier who were making it work. This whole doomer shit online was like, hey, if you're not a Chad, I think this is just behavior that a lot of people engage in to make their own inability to make things work seem more satisfying. It's not me, just society's changed, so I'll never find a mate. You have some accountability in all of this. Yes, things may have gotten difficult in some areas, but they've also gotten easier in others. And people who don't want to acknowledge that and always hand on their doom, I think they're just looking for excuses to justify why they're not getting the results they want. I'm on social media. I see ugly people getting married all the time. Good for them.
I go outside. I go outside with the amount. Actually, with the amount of people that I know that consult, because now consulting and having a therapist or whatever, whatnot, is a thing that is in right now. So, and with the amount of that, I see less and less people. There's still some people that do that. The delusional stuff is still present, but there's less and less of that. And there's more people that are more conscious. Like, no, I just really want to be like happy, and let me cut all the extra stuff. So I've seen more and more people just go for something that they really, going for something that is less flamboyant and more, less like, oh, you know what, someone that's rich that's making this and that that has people are more. From what I've seen around me, maybe it's the Canadian thing.
They are humbled.
Yeah. Life
humbles.
Hey.
You guys just see the delusional people because the delusional people spend a lot of time.
Are highlighted.
No, it's just they spend a lot of time online.
And they are highlighted.
They're loud about it too.
They are highlighted.
And it's flagrant, so it stands out. But a lot of happy people don't got no time to be on social media. They're out here doing shit. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Miserable people go online to look for answers. Happier people are not online looking at red pill shit. Yeah, they're not.
Misery loves
company. So you're only going to be in comment sections with other people who are miserable. Why would you be watching some of this shit? It's just dudes just yell at you. Who got time for that if you're actually happy in your life? Who got time to be like, oh my God, the feminist, if you're actually with a woman you really enjoy being with? I just couldn't imagine having a good time in my date and be like, you know what I need to do while I'm having fun? Let me go watch somebody called feminist whores. They're like, who got time for that? That's why that was the thing during the pandemic. You didn't go outside, so you just thought this shit was so real. Then you go outside and you talk like, what the fuck is red pill? What is this?
You think
shit?
That's why it toppled?
They don't care.
You think that's why it toppled?
It was never a really big thing. It looked bigger than it was because again we're online. Literally nobody in real life knows about this shit or cares. So this is another touching grass segment. Do not listen to these creators because they will have you thinking everything is going to end. And that's their job too. Why? Because miserable and fearful people are going to pay money to support them. When you think there's a war coming, you will invest in order to be ahead of the curve. I'm just saying. Did you not hear it come out of his own mouth? It's not me, it's everyone else. How many times have y'all heard women say that shit and these guys flame the fuck out of them? And justifiably so. But here's a grown man repeating that same shit. How many times you gonna hear that? How many times you gonna hear men yell goofy ass shit like, oh, men are the prize? What? Are you not just a men? I'm the whole table. And you guys are gonna be like, yes, queen. Y'all gotta stop that, fellas. Do not repeat what these ladies said when you was flaming it for it and then act like you didn't do that shit. That's crazy.
You talk your talk, King.
Yeah, King. Yeah, King. Do your thing.
You talk your talk.
Know
King.
your worth, King.
That's right.
You the table. You don't even answer that question. Know your worth.
I want to present to you some ideas, and then you can just tell me what you think.
Sure.
And then we'll start from there.
That sounds great.
So have you heard that like young dudes aren't dating for the most part? Like they're not hooking up, they're virgins.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, before we even go anything, why do you think that is?
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with dating apps. and women having more options now.
So I'll explain this idea, and I guess you agree.
Yeah.
But we did a segment on this before, so just bear with me if you've already seen it. Basically, before dating apps and social media, a college-age woman or high school, whatever age, is their dating pool is limited. I think college is probably a better idea.
Yeah.
It's probably a better example. Their dating pool is limited to the other college students of the same age and around their peers. But with Tinder, now they can message a 30-year-old guy who lives 5-10 miles away and who has a car. So when this woman swipes right on a 20-year-old college student and a 30-year-old career guy, she thinks they're both attractive, messages both of them. The 30-year-old guy says, "I can pick you up in my Honda Civic and we can go to the lake or go see a movie." And the college guy says, "You want to hang out my dorm with my dorm mates? Which one's she going to pick?"
She's going to pick the guy who isn't in the dorm.
Right. So you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
But would you say that's materialism, or do you think it's just?
I think it's biological.
Explain. What do you mean?
Like women are driven to find a mate, whether or not you like it or not. Like we're driven to be like, okay, who can support us? And men are driven to be like, okay, well, who's going to give us healthy children? These are biological impulses that we have. So a woman whose options are a guy with no job, drinks all the time, parties, like his age, it's age appropriate. You should be doing that stuff. But she had these. That was her pool. And now she has men who have jobs and money and houses and are ready to do that, to be who she is biologically driven to want to be. And so she's going to choose that unless she's wanting to party to like the dorm guy and not ready to settle down.
Because there's some, so I think there's a mix between biological and social.
Yep.
I don't think it's purely one or the other. I think typically you'll find from like the feminists, it's all social constructs.
Yes.
But there was a study I just talked about earlier on one of my other channels that when a woman gets a promotion, she is more likely to get divorced. If a man gets a promotion, there's no change.
Do you think she gets divorced by like her saying, "I want to get divorced now because I can support myself," or is it the man saying, "I can't live with you being more successful"?
I think it's both.
That's
Well,
interesting.
so my opinion is, I think typically, not always, a woman wants a man who is of higher status than they are.
Yep.
Somebody who's capable, strong, confident, that they can look up to
Yep.
and know if, like, you can rely on yourself as a woman, and then you have this powerful benefit in this strong man who's also providing you like a safety net, I guess.
Yeah.
And then men want to feel like protectors.
Yes.
So you flip the dynamic. If the woman gets a promotion, now the man feels inadequate.
It's almost emasculation.
Yeah. And so I know that it's funny. You'll see a lot of feminists will say something like, "Oh, boo-hoo, the poor man." It's like, it doesn't matter what you think about it. It matters that men feel this.
I would have to look at that study because I don't believe anyone who cites most of this shit online. But I'm curious. Do you believe that to be true? Do you believe that when a woman gets a promotion, a man's insecure about it because she's making more money now? I mean, this is all going to be anecdotal, so we just chat. But yeah.
I've heard about it, but I've nothing to confirm it. I remember, like, my girl had... What happened? Why are you smiling?
I don't know. I just couldn't imagine being in a relationship with somebody and all of a sudden I look at my bank account and there's more money and I'm like, man, I hate this bitch.
I can understand that there could be some men that would be more uncomfortable with that. I would understand. I'm not that. That's not me. But the way I've seen a couple of men acting out there and the insecurities that's out there, I could see that whenever you got like, for example, I had a job. My girl was taking care of something that they used to do every year for breast cancer, right? A huge gala and stuff like that. And then you get to meet all the coworkers. All the coworkers she already makes more money than me.
Right.
All the coworkers are making more money than me. You know what I mean? So when you're around, what do you do? All right, I'm a manager of this and that district. What are you doing? I'm a manager of this and that. I got these. And then what you doing? I'm a dancer. Not that kind. So I'm not like that, but I know there are a lot of people out there, a lot of guys out there that it will feel very uncomfortable like that. Like, well, Peter at your job, I know there's some guys like that. Do I feel like women want a divorce? Maybe it's true that whenever they get promotions, they're more likely to divorce. I wouldn't necessarily put a correlation between the divorce and the promotion.
I mean, there's probably dozens of reasons why that's true. Is it because they're becoming more selfish?
Yeah.
And then they're like, I've gotten better place in life, so I want to get divorced? Or is it because they're working more hours, so they have less time to invest in their relationship?
Exactly.
And so that's what's causing friction between the two of them. The likelihood of her getting lots of promotions and a higher percentage of divorce could just be linked to the work aspect of it
exactly.
too, right? So, again, these numbers, I don't know if they're real, but even if they are, what is the context behind them? What's the actual motivation? That's why I never like taking these. But you see how people will sometimes take a number and then just make their own narrative for why that's true.
Yes. Like, I can understand that someone getting a promotion, get the promotion, and then the tasks at home change and everything and stuff. So with just that promotion, there's more pressure on the person. The person comes back home with a lot of pressure, a lot of, They don't want to, when you're supposed to come back home, and that's just for me, to me. Your home is a safe haven.
Right.
Your home is your peace. I do not invite certain people, or it's gonna take a long time for you to be in my house.
Yeah.
Even if I've been friends with you for a long ass time, I've been friends with some people.
I mean, he's never invited me to this place. It happens.
I'm sorry, what's your name again?
There you go.
Exactly.
All right.
So I invite him. He doesn't come to my house. He doesn't want to because he dislikes everything I do. But
Why do you say it like that? Why'd you say it like that? It's not wrong, but
it's not wrong, but it's really that. It's really that. You dislike everything I do and everything I have. And
I don't dislike everything you do.
you brought a call like, hey. No, because you saw how well it made you.
You know what I'm saying?
No, because you sported good.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I
good.
don't dislike everything you do.
Now you sported good.
Hey, you know what I mean?
No.
I'm gonna get it tailored a little bit over here just to just.
You don't have to.
I'm just saying.
Because the thing that happened is that right now it's new, but with time is gonna. You see,
It's gonna fade down?
With time, with time
Okay.
is gonna.
Okay, so it's not too big. It's
No,
just
no. It's good.
Okay.
No, it's
See,
good.
I don't like dislike everything you do.
No, because yo, because you like when I prop you up. When
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
yo,
no.
you're good. And you're like,
no,
yeah, I
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
That's you.
no.
That's you. Look at you. Look at you. Yeah, that's it. That whenever you got, it's not that. Is that you got promotion, you got more stress, you got more tasks that you have to accumulate. There's more stress on you, and it could weigh in on your couple, and then eventually coming back home can be not a safe haven.
Yeah.
And then you spend more time, longer time at work.
Yeah.
You do all those schemes to not go back home, and then it can potentially be. It could potentially be the cause of you splitting, but it's not necessarily the fact that I got a promotion. I'm a better person. Fuck you. I need to go up. Moving on up.
Yeah. I don't believe that shit. It's like the wage gap number because people used to
Yes.
just reference it and be like 20 cents on a dollar. But when you look into it, it's like, okay, well,
Why?
women who work in the same field but actually work in worse professions within that field. So instead of being a doctor who's a brain surgeon, they're actually just working in childcare. And it turns out though the ones that do, pediatricians, make substantially less, even men. But once you had a woman who was also a brain surgeon compared to another brain surgeon, you saw that the income disparity leveled out a lot.
But
if you look at women who didn't have kids, or if you look at women who spent most of their time working, you realize that income disparity drops. So those numbers in a vacuum don't mean much. There's a narrative behind them that people are spreading.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at what the reasons why are that they exist.
100%. And also there was also the fact that the number of time that they would take off versus their male counterpart.
Yes,
and
women will sometimes prioritize that more.
Yeah, which is understandable and that's fine. But at the end of the day, they were paid the same. But if you take all the vacation and the leave and stuff like that, then you'd get a gap.
Yeah.